Hey, Tom Reagan here. I wanted to do another video clip for you. In previous videos we talked about the HYPO and the influence of the het genes on the HYPO, the variability in the HYPO, and all the different things that have come about thus far. I felt like it was very important to show what the double visibles look like in the HYPOs. This is the first year, it was breeding season 2010 that hatched out 2011, that we saw double visible HYPOs. And this was the year of the HYPO albino. We also saw HYPO greens. We saw HYPO albino greens. We saw HYPO granites. And then I've got all those to show you. And then I also want to show you the super form of the Codom HYPO in the ivory. And something that's kind of unique about some ivories that came out this year. So let's take a look at some of the double visibles and see what you think. First of all, we've got the double visible that is the albino HYPO, also known as the pearl. And I showed you another video that showed some variability in the pearl. This is the pearl that was from the very first clutch of pearls that hatched out this year in 2011. Real high contrast in this animal. Lots of high tangerines, lots of oranges. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous double visible animal. You know, this year too, we didn't really know what any of these double visibles were going to look like. We were like, oh, they're just going to be a faded out yellow animal in the HYPO albino, wasn't sure. But this is probably the brightest Burmese python that has been made yet. A lot of contrast, a lot of high tangerines and that sort of thing in the normal pearls. Gorgeous animals. I'm hoping that this animal will retain this orange all the way to adulthood. You know, normal albinos have a lot of orange on them as babies, and then they lose that and it fades out into a yellow. This being a HYPO, not real sure what it's going to do. Hope it keeps that orange all the way through to adulthood. Gorgeous animal with the double visible there. This animal right here is the double visible HYPO granite. This is absolutely one of my favorites that hatched out this year. The double visible HYPO granite has got a lot of light yellow. Now this one is het for albino, but a lot of real light patterning to that animal right there, high speckling, and then the head's a real pretty peach orange color. Again, het albino, so you're going to get a little bit of that het yellow or the yellow glow from the het albino in that animal. But the HYPO granite, absolutely a gorgeous animal. Glad to see these come out this year also. Another double visible that hatched out this year is the double visible HYPO green. These animals have had a little bit of variability in them. This is a HYPO green that is a female HYPO green. You notice they've got a lot of white and silver going up their sides, a lot of vanillas that roll over onto their back, and a real high vanilla color head with beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous orange eyes. The HYPO greens are completely patternless. Sometimes you get a little bit of a striping going down the back on the HYPO greens, but for the most part, the HYPO greens turned out to be a completely patternless animal and just gorgeous. I think they're going to hold this light color all the way to adulthood, and again, it'll be interesting to see how these animals mature. Another animal, this is actually a triple visible that hatched out this year, is the albino HYPO green. And this animal right here is almost a solid vanilla color, has a lot of white and silver coming up the sides just like the HYPO green, but you take the albino gene, put it on top of there too, and it makes this real light vanilla color all the way through, and it almost looks like a typical ivory that you would expect to see. But this is the triple visible HYPO albino green, or a green pearl, I guess you could call it that. But anyway, the first triple visible that came out this year, real pretty orange eyes. I don't know if the camera can catch those eyes or not, but just real pretty light orange gold eyes on that animal. Lots of potential with those animals in breeding. One more animal that I wanted to show you too with this clip was the ivories that came out this year. The ivory, of course, is the HYPO super form. This animal in particular had a lot of ivory going down its back, but it also has a lot of white to it, which is a little more unusual of the ivories. Most of them so far have been almost a solid ivory color, bone color, and then they've got real light blue eyes. These animals right here that hatched out have got an ivory stripe going down their back, but their sides are almost solid white with real high contrast where the white meets the ivory. It doesn't blend, it's just from one scale to the next, white to the ivory color. And it has almost an ivory stripe going all the way down its back to the tail that you can see there. All the white on the sides will just turn into a real solid bleach white color, so I expect this to be a real pretty animal. The eyes on this ivory appear to be black, but as you look at them under the light and hold them up and look at them in the light, they're actually a ruby color. So the explanation for this animal is probably that it's het albino. I think that the het albino gene has a strong influence in the ivories. Or we've got something else going on with some other hypos that are in this room. Not sure yet what's going on, but a lot more breeding left to do on those guys. So anyway, wanted to show you some of the double visibles and even the triple visibles in the HYPO gene and show you some of the great things that we're doing here and some things that we have to look forward to. So hopefully we'll come up with some more double visibles and some new double visibles this year. I know that the HYPO caramel would be a gorgeous animal to see. So hopefully we'll bring some new things to you for breeding season 2011 and hatch them out in 2012. Thanks for watching.